Hi there everybody, this is Shauna with lovelifegivecare.com. I wanted to share with you today my latest publication, the Grow Your Own Food Gardening Calendar, Planner, and Logbook for 2023. I created this book for my own personal use. It's what I use for keeping track of things on our farm, and I thought that it might be helpful and useful for other people as well. Let me zoom in over here on the cover. On the right hand side, this would be the front of the book, and show you the pictures on here. These are all photos that I took of our farm, Northgate Farm. These are different crops that we grew last year. These are peppers, sun gold tomatoes, peaches and cream corn, emerald oak leaf lettuce, cilantro, peas and turnips and carrots, snowball cauliflower, and the early spring purple sprouting broccoli. One of my favorites. On the left side over here is the back, and it says, based upon common gardening practices and years of experience, this book outlines a simple framework to walk you through a year-round planning and tracking process. It gives you a brief description of the interior pages and what you would find. There is planning pages, plotting pages, guidance pages, and of course, a place to keep all of your records. So there is a year at a glance, monthly outlook, 12-month calendar with the moon phases on it, a space to write your projects and goals and budget, and a weekly schedule. There's grid paper, ruled lined paper, and graph paper. The guidance pages talk about how to use different foliar sprays, categories of nutrients. There's a compost tea recipe, guidance on pruning fruit trees and grapevines. And there's a little bit about astrological moon sign gardening and the lunar plant growth cycle. Of course, there's record keeping pages, keep track of your soil test results and different amendments where you've applied them, and of course plant profiles and notes about the plants. So if I move over to the interior pages, we'll go through what these look like. This is the cover page. There's a lot of graphics that I put in here that I thought were fun and cute and appropriate for farm related images. Theraphase Art is my publishing company. Love Life Give Care, that's my website where I talk about holistic health, self-care, wellness, healing, gardening, farming, and homesteading, all my favorite things. There's a belongs to page, it's a nice image here. I have a welcoming page and a little bit about caretaking the land and the dedication that is required to do this work. Moon phases is all about the agricultural correspondence with the different phases of the moon, how that affects the growth of plants. This is talking specifically about each phase and what the plants do during these phases and how you can use this to help you know when to plant. And the astrological gardening section is very brief. I just touch on how I use this framework for myself, following what sign the moon is in, if it's in an earth, air, fire, or water sign, and when to plant or what to do in the garden during those times. This is probably the most valuable page, talking about a new way of categorizing nutrients and all the organic applications of amendments that you would put in the soil to help your plants grow better. This is about foliar sprays, how you can alternate between good things for plants and bad things for bugs and molds. Here's a recipe for how to make compost tea. It tells you all the supplies that you'll need and the ingredients, how to do it. And this really is a key feature in anybody's garden. You'll want to know about how to make these amazing teas for your plants. There's a section about pruning apple trees and the 4 basic types of tree pruning. There's also a page about pruning grapevines and the spur pruning, cane pruning method, and different stages. Here's a quick start guide giving you a little guidance before you get started with your planning, doing some research on things you're going to need to know prior to plotting everything out. This is the page for your soil test records. You can put the date and the plot and what the pH and NPK was. Next to that is the amendment records with the date and the plot, what amendment was used, how much per square foot. I have a couple of pages for that. It's plenty of space. And then it gets into the planting records page, your plant profiles, so you can have the date of when you started them. Was it directly planted into the ground, indoors, or in the greenhouse? The species of plant and variety, the method you used for planting the seeds, the different dates of transplanting. Sometimes you have to transplant a couple times before they go outside. Then you would put the different harvest dates. Sometimes you are harvesting more than once, and you may want to have those specific dates. What the growth and yield was, different notes you might want to keep about each plant. And there are over 100 spaces for plant records. So there's plenty of room there. So here is the grid paper and graph with lined paper. And there are several pages that look like this. Lots of room for graphing. Here's the year outlook 12-month calendar spread. And then there are spaces for the monthly outlook, just to give a brief overview of some major projects that might be going on in each of these months. And then it gets into the full month spread, where you'll see that I have added when the moon is going to be in its different phases. The full moon, waning moon, new moon, and waxing moon. And next to the full month spread is a page where you can line out your projects and the budget. Also, whatever planting dates that you are wanting to keep track of, plan ahead for. There's a spot for notes. Then it gets into the weekly spread for each month. And so on the left page will be the 4 days, and then on the right is the other 3 days of the week. And you'll notice that I have put the day of the week and the date on the outside edge of the book, so that when you're flipping through it, it's easy to find these dates. And the rest of the book flows in that order, where you'll see the month and the moon phases next to your projects, budget, planting dates page, and then it goes into the weekly spread. This goes all the way through December, and the reason why I did that is because I plant year-round. Even if that means that in December we're not planting outside as much, but a lot of things will be started inside, like microgreens and sprouts. It is useful 12 months out of the year. You can plant seeds anytime. So thank you for checking this out with me. I wanted to share it with you so that you could get a good look at what the interior of this book is all about. Hopefully, you will find this book to be just as useful as I do.